I'm going to have a little fancy background. And are we ready?
Ready.
Here we go. Hi, everyone. My name is Amy. I am the Executive Director for Gesher Disability Resources. And I am about to mute one of our participants for just a minute. And we are very excited to have you all with us today. This is our number six, our sixth model Seder. So if you look at our website, you'll notice that culturally, activities can sometimes be a little challenging. And so what we did with this model Seder is we want to make sure everyone is practicing. You get to practice what it is to go through a Seder. The Passover Seder is something that's been around for a very long time. That's what we will learn soon. And it actually starts on March 27th. So with this webinar and with this recording, you can go back and watch it and practice and be ready for your friends and family. So to lead this year's Seder, we are so excited to welcome back Cantor Seth Ettinger from Congregation Beth Israel. This is his third time to do the Seder with us, and he is going to do a great job. Take it away, Cantor.
Thank you so much, Amy. Hi, everybody. Chag Sameach. Can we all go ahead and wave and wish the person sitting next to you Chag Sameach, and sitting with the person on the other side of you Chag Sameach, and maybe the people who we don't see, wish them a Chag Sameach. It's so good to be here. Thank you so much to the Gesher Disability Resources for having me back for a third year in a row, my second year leading. It is a highlight of mine ever since I had the opportunity to host it with Rabbi Nate Crane and then to take it over, and I'm so glad to be back for this second year in a row. So let's go ahead and take the opportunity to celebrate us being together, even if it's not necessarily in person on Zoom. Thank God for technology. And let's join together in Hine Matov by Mikey Palker, and you'll repeat after me. E-O, E-O-O-O, E-O, O, E-O, E-O-O-O, E-O, Hine matov u'manayim shemen achim gam yachad. How great it is that we are together to celebrate this Chag. Hine matov u'manayim shemen achim gam yachad. How great it is that brothers and sisters can be here on this day. Let's sing together. Celebrate this Chag. Hine matov u'manayim shemen achim gam yachad. How great it is that brothers and sisters can be here on this day. One more time. Great it is that all of us can be here to celebrate this Seder together. So just as we have a prayer book for Shabbat service that guides us throughout the service, we have a special book that guides us through the Passover Seder, and it's called a Haggadah. And for today's Seder, we will be referring to the Gateways Haggadah. And we love the Gateways Haggadah so much because not only does it have all the steps of the Seder, but it has all wonderful pictures that you can go ahead and look at, just in case, you want to drift off a bit and explore through the pages. It's really family and user friendly. Let's go to the next slide. So the word Seder, just like the book Siddur, means order in Hebrew. And we call the Passover celebration a Seder because we follow a schedule and do everything in a particular order. We begin the Seder by reading or singing the Seder schedule. And what part of the Seder is your favorite? Maybe you want to type that into the chat. What part of the Seder is your favorite? And there are many ways to sing the order of the Seder. There's an old Babylonian melody that goes Kadesh Urchatz Karpas Yachatz, but I love to sing the order of the Seder to the alphabet song. Let's see if we can do that together. Kadesh Urchatz Karpas Yachatz Magid Rachza Motzi Matzah Maror Korech Shulchan Orech Tzafun Barech Hallel Nirtza. These are the steps of the Seder for me to you. Now you all will know what to do. And we will begin the Seder, going to the next slide, with Kadesh. Well, before we go ahead and do that, obviously in addition to the book, the Haggadah, we have a special Seder plate, okay? And I have a few members of the Gesher community who will be holding up the special items so you can see which items I am talking about. And if you have a Seder plate in front of you, and you have any of these items on the Seder plate, please hold them up when we are talking about them. Okay? So we're going to begin with the shank bone. All right? Does anybody out there have a shank bone? Maybe we have a picture of a shank bone. And the shank bone, there we go. Very good, Melody. Thank you. The shank bone reminds us of how the Jews made a special lamb meal called a sacrifice to thank God for their freedom. All right, let's put down the shank bone picture. And who here has maror out there? Do we have some horseradish, some bitter herbs, or maybe chazeret? Maybe a piece of lettuce or something that is bitter or sour to the taste? Well, while we're finding that, the bitter taste, oh, thank you, of maror and chazeret reminds us of how unhappy and bitter life was for the Jews who were slaves in Egypt. Now, let's put down the maror and talk about charoset. I love charoset. Any of us have charoset out there? Charoset, that's the sweet stuff. Yes, very, very good. So charoset is usually a mixture of apples, nuts, honey, wine, and spices, and the color and soft texture of charoset reminds us of the mortar the Jewish slaves used long ago in Egypt. Mortar is a kind of cement that is used to help bricks stick together. Now let's put down our picture of the charoset and hold up a picture or an actual egg. Did anybody have a picture of the egg? Let's see. Oh, very good. Melody, you're doing such a great job. Thank you so much. The roasted egg has a round shape And if you run your finger around an egg, you will always come back to the point where you began. The round shape of an egg reminds us that every year we go around the same cycle of months and seasons. Very good. Let's go ahead and put down that picture and hold up the karpas. The karpas, the parsley, or anything that really grows on the vine. I like to go ahead and have a little strawberry for my parsley. Karpas is a vegetable that grows in the spring, and this spring vegetable helps us to think about the new leaves and plants that grow during the time we celebrate Passover. Very good. Let's go on to the next slide. Is there anything else that we need to go ahead and do? So we have described the Seder plate for you, and there are other symbols that people have added to the Seder plate and their Seder table over the years. For those of us who are in the chat, is there something special that you have on your Seder plate? If so, please type it into the chat so we can see. Okay, so now we're going to get to the first step of the Seder. And as Amy said, this is a model Seder, a Seder designed to teach us what to do during Passover. So we will not be doing all 15 steps. We will be doing the highlights. So Kadesh, which means to sanctify, is where we lift our first cup of wine, all right? And the sweet taste of these drinks made from grapes make us feel joyful and ready to celebrate. During the Passover Seder, we drink 4 cups of wine or grape juice. And now it is time to say Kiddush, the blessing over wine and grape juice. So if you have your Kiddush cup filled with a little grape juice, I invite you to go ahead and hold it up as we sing the bracha, or the blessing, together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Thank you, God, ruler of the world, who makes the fruit of the vine. L'chaim. And right after we bless the wine, we join together in thanking God for enabling us to reach this season, especially during this unprecedented time. Let's join together in words of Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has kept us alive and has sustained us and has brought us to this season. And let us all say, Amen. So now we go ahead and we take our parsley, okay? And we take our parsley, our karpas, and we're going to dip it into the salt water, okay? Spring is a cheerful time of year because the weather gets warmer. Well, not today, but it will. And green leaves and vegetables begin to grow. On Passover, we eat a spring vegetable to celebrate that spring has come. Even though we are happy on Passover, we remember the Jews long ago who were sad because they were slaves. We dip our vegetables in salt water to remember the sad, salty tears those Jews cried. So we're going to go ahead and dip our parsley in the salt water, okay? And we say the blessing, the bracha, borei peri ha'adamah, together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri ha'adamah. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who brings forth fruit from the earth. Amen. now is one of my favorite parts. Now is one of my favorite parts because I love dessert. How many of you like dessert? Raise your hand. Well, now is the part where we get to actually create dessert and make dessert for everybody. Usually dessert is a sweet treat, but on Passover, we also eat an unexpected dessert, a piece of plain matzah called the afikoman. We prepare the afikoman now and then put it away until the end of the Seder. This is called yachatz. Many families hide the afikoman so the children can have fun searching for it later. Here is how we do it, okay? In the middle of the table, there's going to be a matzah holder. I have one here. And inside will be 3 pieces of matzah. See if you can find the middle matzah and take it out. Then what you do is you go ahead and you break the middle matzah. Hopefully you can do it in 2 pieces, all right? What you're going to do is you're going to take 1 piece and you're going to put it back in the bag. And the second piece, you're going to hide either in a napkin or another special holder, and you're going to hide it in a very special place called the this is called the afikoman. And after or during the meal, those of you who want to go look for the afikoman can go ahead and find it. And what the adults don't want you to know is we cannot continue the Seder until you have found the afikoman. So for those of you who hold out, you can really negotiate a good price for them to buy the afikoman back from you. All right? Maybe like $5. That's a good price. All right, let's go on to the next slide. Okay. So, if I can summarize Passover and the meaning of the Seder and the importance of the Seder in 2 statements, it would be this: ask the questions, tell the story. Ask the questions, tell the story. And that is what we are commanded to do. Ask questions that will get the leader of the Seder to tell us the story so that we can go ahead and relearn and transmit the meaning of Passover, Lador Vador, from generation to generation. And we all have responsibilities during the Seder, no matter how old or how young you are.
Yes.
And if you are the youngest person in the Seder, you have the most important job of all. You have to start asking the question. So I have special helpers who are going to go ahead and lead us in the 4 questions. And I would like Jessie to begin for us.
Go ahead.
I'm honest. Tana. Hawaii. Come. Have we out?
Very good.
Why is this
Night.
different from all of
Night.
different from all
Night.
on all other
Night.
nights? On all other nights, we eat leaven and unleavened.
For us.
And matzah.
I am a night.
Do we eat only matzah?
Why they we eat at
Only matzah.
we eat matzah.
Very good. Yasher Koach. Ma nishtana halayla hazeh mikol halelot, mikol halelot. As Jesse asked, why is this night different from all other nights? Shebechol halelot anu ochlin chametz umatzah, chametz umatzah, halayla hazeh kulo matzah, halayla hazeh kulo matzah. On all other nights we eat leavened products and matzah, but on Passover night we eat only matzah. Thank you, Jesse. Okay, to ask our second question and answer our second question, we have Jason. Jason, will you go ahead and unmute? Ah, yes, let's unmute so Jason can go ahead and answer the second question. Go ahead, Jason.
First night we eat veggies, bitter herbs.
Good. But on this night we only eat bitter herbs. Very nice. Shebechol halelot anu ochlin she'ar yerakot, she'ar yerakot, halayla hazeh mahor, mahor, halayla hazeh mahor, mahor. Thank you, Jason. Yasher Koach. Let's see who is going to help us with answering question number 3. Sophia, why is this night different from all other nights? Go ahead and unmute and tell us. Very good. On all other nights, we don't dip our vegetables even once. But on Passover night, we dip our vegetables twice. Shebechol halelot anu ochlin afilu pe'am echad, afilu pe'am echad, halayla hazeh shetei peyamim, halayla hazeh shetei peyamim. Okay, thank you, Sophia. Yasher Koach. Number 4, Melody. Why is this night different from all other nights?
On all other nights, we sit up straight or lean to the side. But on Passover night, we lean to the side.
Good. Shebechol halelot anu ochlin ben yoshvinu vein mesubin, ben yoshvinu vein mesubin, halayla hazeh kulanu mesubin, halayla hazeh Wonderful. Thank you, Jesse, Jason, Sophia, and Melody for asking and answering the 4 questions so beautifully. And because you have asked them, we can now tell the story of Passover. And we'll begin with a very special song taking us all the way back, because once upon a time we were slaves in the land of Egypt, and that is how our story begins. Avadim haynu, haynu, ata b'nei chorin, b'nei chorin. Avadim haynu, ata b'nei chorin. Avadim haynu, ata b'nei chorin, b'nei chorin. Ata b'nei chorin, b'nei chorin. We were slaves, yes, but now we are free. So let's begin the story and tell it together. Long ago, we were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt. Life was very hard, and the Hebrews had to work long hours in the hot sun to build Pharaoh's cities. Sophia, will you continue the next part of our story? We're having a little trouble hearing Sophia, so if we can turn up the volume there. Oh, there we go.
Pharaoh tried to weaken the Hebrew slaves in many ways. Despite his best efforts, the Hebrews prevailed and kept growing stronger. There was a boy born to a Levite household. To save his life, his mother put him in a basket and sent him down the Nile River with his sister, watching him the entire time.
Very, very good. Thank you so much, Sophia. We can all see the baby in the basket. Well, guess what? The boy was found by Pharaoh's daughter, who saw he was an Israelite and decided to save him. She called him Moses, Moshe, which means I have brought him out of the water. And Moses' sister Miriam convinced her to let his birth mother raise him. When Moses was old enough, he returned to Pharaoh's house, knowing he was an Israelite. And one day Moses killed a slave master who was beating a Hebrew slave, and despite his heroic effort, the Israelites did not approve of Moses' action. Is beating and killing another person a nice thing to do? No. And this caused Moses to flee to Midian, where he spent many years as a shepherd. Melody, will you read the next slide for us?
One day, many years later, Moses was tending to his flock when he saw something amazing. A bush was on fire, but none of the leaves were burning. Moses noticed how awesome this bush was, and from the bush, the voice of God called to him, "Moses, I am your God of your ancestors. I have heard my people's cries. You need to go to Pharaoh and tell him to let my people go."
Very good, Melody. I'm shaking from hearing you sound like God. All right. So what happened next? Thank you so much, Melody. Moses reluctantly, that means he didn't really want to go, but he's, when God tells you to do something, you kind of have to do it. So Moses reluctantly agreed, and together with his brother Aaron, went to Pharaoh. They asked Pharaoh many times to let the Hebrew slaves go, and each time Pharaoh said no. And every time Pharaoh said no, God brought a plague down on the people of Egypt. So now we're going to go to the next slide, and there is an old custom that every time we get to the 10 plagues, we're supposed to take a cup of grape juice, take our pinky finger, and dip your finger or spoon into the glass of wine, touch your finger or spoon to the edge of your plate, and say the name of each plague. And we're going to repeat this for the 10 plagues. Here we go. We're going to dip, say it in English, and then in Hebrew. Here we go. Dip, blood, dam. Dip, frogs, tzvardeya. Dip, lice, kinim. Dip, wild animals, arov. Dip, death of cattle, dever. Dip, boils, shechin. Dip, hail, barad. Dip, locusts, arbe. Dip, darkness, choshech. Dip, the death of the firstborn, makat bechorot. So now we're going to sing about the 10 plagues that came down on Egypt's land. And I have special friends of ours who are going to hold up each of the blessings when they arrive. And this is a wonderful song by Ellen Allard called the 10 Plague Song. Please join us. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plagues in Egypt's land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plagues in Egypt's land. All right, let's get ready with blood. Blood in the water made the river run red. 10 plagues in Egypt's land. Pharaoh should have listened to what God said. 10 plagues in Egypt's land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plagues in Egypt's land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plagues in Egypt's land. Now let's get ready with frogs. Here we go. Frogs were jumping on Pharaoh's hair. 10 plagues in Egypt's land. Pharaoh didn't like it, but the frogs didn't care. 10 plagues in Egypt's land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plagues in Egypt's land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plagues in Egypt's land. And this will be the last one that we end on, the creepy, crawly, itchy lice. Here we go. Creepy, crawly, itchy, ice, lice. 10 plagues in Egypt's land. Mess with the Holy One, you better think twice. 10 plagues in Egypt's land. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plagues in Egypt's land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plagues in Egypt's land. Normally we would go through 7 more verses. If you would like a copy of this song, please let Amy know and she will be happy to send you a copy. So after the 10 plagues had hit Egypt, Pharaoh finally said, okay, you can go, you can take your people and you can go. And so Moses went ahead and they had a Seder, right, during the 9th plague, okay? And then they had the 10th plague, unfortunately, and then they went ahead and they packed up all of their belongings and they went to freedom. And that was the most amazing thing that God had done for the Israelite people. God heard our cries and delivered us from slavery in Egypt. But that was a very, very long time ago. Can you think of something that God has done for you in your lifetime? God has done so many miracles and performed so many miracles. God gave us the Torah. God gave us Shabbat. God gives us life. God makes us healthy. What are some miracles and gifts that God have given you in your life? So guess what? We have an expression in our tradition called Dayenu. Can we all say Dayenu? Dayenu. And Dayenu means it would have been enough. If God had only helped the Jews to leave Egypt, that would have been enough, Dayenu. But God kept on helping the Jews. And God gave the Jews Shabbat, and then the Torah, and we are thankful and grateful that God not only gave, but continued to give us so much help. So, to thank God for all of the wonderful things God has done, we complete the telling of the story of Passover with Dayenu. And this is supposed to be very loud. All right, so let's see if we can sing this as loud as we can. Ilu, ilu, hotzianu, hotzianu, mi Mitzrayim, hotzianu, mi Mitzrayim, Dayenu, 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 Natan lanu et ha-Shabbat, Natan lanu et ha-Shabbat, Dayenu. Let's try it. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. So after we go ahead and we tell the whole story, we come to the second cup of wine. So let's go ahead and say the bracha over the second cup of wine together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Thank you, Adonai, ruler of the world, who makes the fruit of the vine. Let's go to the next slide, please. So now we get to eat. And we get to eat first symbolic foods, and then we get to eat a meal together. Okay? So we're going to come to motzi, matzah, and this is eating the matzah. All right? So I want everybody to go ahead and hold up a piece of matzah. And when the Jews left Egypt, they did not have enough time to bake soft and fluffy bread for their long journey in the desert. So they made dough and quickly baked it into flat bread called matzah. And on Passover, we eat matzah instead of bread to remember how the Jews long ago ate matzah as they left Egypt. So we say together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. And when we actually have our Seder, actually there will be a blessing beforehand which says Al achilat matzah, which means who commands us to eat only matzah all of this day. So botei avon, let's go ahead and eat. Okay. Let's get out our bitter herbs. Here we go. There are two kinds of bitter herbs. There's the purple and there's the white. Maror is something bitter to eat, and we eat bitter herbs to help us remember how sad and bitter life was for Jews as slaves in Egypt. How do you feel about eating maror? I don't feel very good. It makes my nose and my eyes water. Well, even though it tastes yucky, we have to eat it anyway. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al achilat maror. Let's eat our maror together. Oh, no, Oh, my eyes are watering. Are your eyes watering? Okay, let's go ahead. Go to the next slide so maybe we can go ahead and eat something sweet with it. This is korech. This is the Hillel sandwich because Rabbi Hillel used to go ahead and eat charoset with the bitter herbs because you can't truly appreciate the sweet without the sour. So put the maror on top of charoset, cover the maror and charoset with the second pizza matzah, and we eat the Hillel sandwich. Let's go ahead and eat together. B'te'avon. Oh, I needed that. Too spicy. Okay. So the next part of the Seder, if we were having the actual Seder, would be Shulchan Orech, and it would be time to eat your meal. You would all get up, you would wash your hands, and you would go ahead and eat together. But don't forget that after we eat our meal, we still have to conclude the Seder. So for today, we're going to zoom past the meal and go right to the last steps of the Seder. After we bless our meal with Birkat Hamazon, Barech, we go ahead and we bless the third cup. So let's go ahead and bless it together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Thank you, God, ruler of the world, who makes the fruit of the vine. So what we like to do in our household is each one of the cups of wine represents a different type of blessing that we have in our life. So when you're doing your Seders at your home, maybe you can talk about what each of the blessings you have in your life and assign them to a different glass of wine or grape juice. Okay, what is next? Okay, so guess what, everybody? This has been a very interesting year. How many of you thought that 2 years ago we would be in a pandemic and we wouldn't be able to celebrate Passover with our families? I sure didn't, right? I sure didn't. But how many of you are so happy that this year we get to celebrate with more people than last year? Raise your hand. Well, maybe, God willing, next year we will be able to celebrate Passover just like we did before. And as we say, may Elijah the prophet come and bring the best time ever, the time when we're all getting along and we take care of each other, and so that we can go ahead and eternally live in harmony and peace. Next year in person, next year in Jerusalem. So here we would invite Eliyahu the prophet, who we set a glass of wine for, to come and join us at our Seder table. So for those of you who know the song, we would sing Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi there. Okay, let's go to the next song just for time. And so we conclude the Seder with the fourth cup of wine or grape juice. And I want everybody to know that you are all a blessing in our life and the life of Gesher Disability Resources. We are so appreciative of your support and the blessings you have given us throughout this very difficult year and the years before. Thank you so much. And our prayer and blessing over this cup of wine is, may all the blessings that are in your life continuously overflow like the wine in this cup. So let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Thank you, God, ruler of the world, who makes the fruit of the wine or grapes. Okay. And so before we go ahead and conclude our Seder, we have one more song called Chad Gad Yah. And this is a fun song to sing. It's all about the order of life, really. And life has ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. But we can always go ahead and remain steadfast in our belief that no matter when life gets to its lowest, immediately it'll go back up and life will be good again. And it goes like this. Chad Gad Yah, Chad Gad Yah, Chad Gad Yah, Chad Gad Yah. There was a kid, a young kid, or, well, a kid's called a goat. My father bought for 2 zuzim. Chad Gad Yah, Chad Gad Yah, Chad Gad Yah, Chad Gad Yah. Then came the cat that chased the kid. My father bought for 2 zuzim. Chad Gad Yah, Chad Gad Yah. Then came the dog. Can you make a good bark? Can I hear you do a woof woof? Then came the dog that bit the cat. Give me a nice big meow. That bit the kid. Give me a nice little bat. There you go. Chad Gad Yah, Chad Gad Yah. That is one of my favorites. And next year when we are in person, we will really have fun with our Chad Gad Yah song. Amy, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you for a few words, and then we'll conclude together with Gesher Tsar Meod.
Absolutely. Oh, Cantor Attinger, that was so lovely and fun. And I don't know if you looked in the comments, people think that you're kind of funny.
Oh,
I have to agree. You have a great sense of humor. With all the fun that we've had today with our model Seder, there is seriousness. And we always are trying to help others and tikkun olam, to repair the world. There are people who do not have enough to eat. And there is a kosher food drive that is taking place. There are 2 places to just go and drive up and drop off. You just get out of your car for 2 seconds. Non-perishable kosher foods, things like matzah or cake mixes or matzah meal, things like that. You can drop them off at either the Ina Levine JCC or the Martin Pear, it's the Ina Levine campus, or Jewish Family and Children's Services at their main office on 7th Street. So they're going to be delivering to the families. So families have requested on March 24th, because again, March 27th is the first night of Passover. So if you have some extra, please go ahead and share your bounty with others who don't have it quite this year. Thank you so much.
okay, wonderful. Wonderful.
I also want to say thank you to everyone who's here. So again, Congregation Beth Israel, they made this possible, this webinar, which is fun and different. And we'll see if we do another one. I don't know. Cantor Ettinger and all of his colleagues. And then our Gesher members, Jason, Jesse, Melody, and Sophia. You guys were great. And we'll figure out who wants to do it next time. So We're going to keep taking turns for everybody who wants to have a chance to perform and be part of our services and our programs. We'll just continue taking turns with everyone. And if you want to know more information about Gesher, we're at gesherdr.org. Now we have a wonderful closing song, which just happens to have Gesher in the name. And Cantor Ettinger will sing that for us today. And eventually, when we're all together, you're going to teach this to us.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Well, once again, on behalf of Congregation Beth Israel, thank you so much for enabling us to partner with you for this wonderful, wonderful Seder. We love the relationship that all of our clergy and senior staff have with you at Gesher, and we look forward to continuing this relationship for many, 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 many years to come. And from our homes to your homes, have a wonderful, and as we say, finish strongly, eating matzah the entire time. You know, kasher, chag sameach ve'kasher. But just have your Passover surrounded by the warmth of as many family and friends as you can, and may you have just wonderful and joyous Seders in your households. Kol ha'olam kulo gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od. Kol ha'olam kulo gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od. V'ha'ikar, v'ha'ikar, lo lefached, lo lefached klal. V'ha'ikar, v'ha'ikar, lo lefached klal. Kol ha'olam kulo gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od. Kol ha'olam kulo gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od. Chag Sameach, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful Passover. And we will see you, God willing, in person next year.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Take care. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.